Hey everybody, Jason Worley here with Worley Custom Fab. Today we're going to talk to you about our FASS Fuel System Relocation Bracket, offered for the 2001 to 2010 model, as well as the 11 to 16 LML model Duramax. So this is a product that we've used in-house at WCFab for several years now for our customers coming in and getting FASS systems installed. And it was something that we thought was a great upgrade, and we've got a lot of great feedback from customers that have gotten them. And we started getting a lot of requests from our dealers and other people out there that saw them and wondered where they came from. So we've decided to go into full production on these, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about why we decided to relocate the FASS fuel system on the Duramax model trucks. So here we are underneath a LML model. This is the FASS bracket that we fabricate that is compatible with the 11 to 16 model LML. Crew cab short bed and crew cab long bed. Not compatible on regular cab and extended cab models. The reason being, there's just not enough room between the fuel tank and the transmission cross member to mount the pump where we are doing so on the crew cab model trucks. Our bracket actually mounts directly to an OEM frame rail cross member that is in place, not being used. So it's a really slick install. The bracket itself connects to the lift pump and to the frame of the truck using the supplied hardware that comes in the FASS kit. So there's no reason to have to supply your own hardware or anything like that. It's a simple bolt-on installation. Another really nice benefit about the bracket, relocating the lift pump underneath the truck, getting it out of the elements that are typically seen with the standard FASS mount bracket, which puts the FASS pump between the outside of the frame rail and the bedside right in the wheel well, getting all the road grime thrown at it from the tire. And in most cases, it's typically hanging below the bedside and the filters are pretty visible. Mounted underneath the truck on the inside of the frame, we're just barely hanging below the frame, not any lower than the cross member of the transmission, so we don't need to worry about the filters grabbing anything. But when it comes time to actually changing the filters, they're much easier to access from underneath the truck versus tied up in between the bedside and the frame rail. Another really nice feature about the location of the pump here directly in front of the fuel tank is when we're using a sump, which we strongly recommend using on all the Duramax models, is a tank mounted sump versus the draw straw or connected into the factory fuel lines. Typically when installing a sump, you're going to put it either on the front or in the middle of the tank, depending on the size of the tank and other obstructions on the bottom of the tank. And with a FASS pump mounted on the outside of the frame rail, you're typically having to run your fuel lines either underneath or over the top of the frame to reach the fuel pump, usually several feet worth of fuel line. With the pump mounted directly in front of the tank and the sump at the front of the tank, you're left with very short fuel hoses, less chance of abrasion against any frame rail components or any other components on the truck that can potentially chafe the fuel lines or kink or anything like that. So it really makes for a slick install, especially when using the sumps. So here we are on the 01 to 10 model, very similar to the LML. It mounts on the inside of the driver's side frame rail instead of on a cross member, but still on the inside of the frame, keeping it out of the elements of the wheel well in front of the rear tire, how the standard FASS mount bracket works. Just like the LML, this bracket on the 01 to 10s is compatible with crew cab long bed and crew cab short bed only. For the same reason being, there's just not enough room between the fuel tank and the torsion bar cross member to mount the pump on the shorter wheelbase trucks. All other features that make the bracket nice on the LML is the same case with the 01 to 10 as far as mounting a sump and routing your fuel lines and easier access to the filters and keeping it out of the elements of the road. The one other difference on the 01 to 10 bracket is we do supply hardware to mount the bracket to the FASS lift pump. It does not use the FASS supplied hardware like the LML style bracket does. So that wraps up the overview of our FASS relocation bracket for the 01 to 16 model Duramax. Thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our newsletter on the website. Follow us on social media, stay up to date on all the new product we're working on. I'm Jason Worley.